Guys, welcome to my channel. So today's video is going to be 5 recipes that are perfect for the Super Bowl. So if you're interested in seeing those 5 recipes, then keep watching. Okay, so for the first recipe, I'm getting started on mini chicken quesadillas. I've got 2 chicken breasts in my crock pot with taco seasoning on top and maybe like a quarter cup of water. And I let that cook for a little bit because the chicken was frozen. But now that it's cooked a little bit, I'm going to add in 1 onion and 1 green pepper cut into strips. And I'm going to add that into the crock pot and let that cook until I'm ready to start making the quesadillas. So I'm not going to make quesadillas just yet. I'm going to start with this, and then I'm going to do some other recipes, and then we'll come back to the quesadillas at the end. So the next thing I'm going to get started on is dessert. I'm going to do 2 desserts. I'm going to do these football cookies, and then I'm going to do chocolate covered pretzel rods that look like footballs, kind of. I don't know if you can still find the football cookie dough. I know I saw a couple packs left at my Walmart the last time I was at Walmart. So they might still have it. I don't know. But I had bought some. I bought like 3 or 4 boxes over the fall for when we were just watching football games and just kind of having fun. And I'd stored it away in the freezer. And I still had a couple. Yeah, I still have another box. So I have this for this video. Then I have another box to make for actual Super Bowl. But if you can still find it, then get it. But I'm just getting this chocolate chip cookie dough placed out. I bake at 350. You can bake at 325. But the way my oven works, I always bake at 350. And I bake the chocolate chip cookie dough first for 5 minutes. It doesn't cook it all the way through, as you can tell. And then I'll place the football cookies on top of the chocolate chip cookie dough. That's going to bake for an additional 7 minutes. Then, while I've got that baking the last 7 minutes, I am going to get started on the pretzel rods. This is so easy because all you need is the pretzel rods, some chocolate chips, and some white chocolate chips or vanilla flavored bacon chips like they are at Walmart. And there is an easier way to do this, and I wish I would have done it that way, which is to melt the chocolate and then put it in a cup and dip the pretzel rod into the cup. But I don't know why I wasn't thinking, and I didn't do that, so I just melted it in a bowl and then like scooped the chocolate over the pretzel rod, and it worked. It was a lot messier, and it took a little bit longer. But I'm just going to dip the pretzel rods, or not dip, I'm just going to kind of cover the pretzel rods in chocolate Then when I get them all covered, I'm going to place them in the refrigerator for about 10 to 20 minutes until this chocolate layer is just set up enough for me to be able to draw white lines on it with the white chocolate. And my favorite little hack for this, if you don't have a squeeze bottle or you don't want to try and do it with a toothpick, is to get a piping bag or get a high quality plastic bag and melt your white chocolate in that bag with, I always have to put a little bit of coconut oil. So I melted the white chocolate with a little bit of coconut oil, and I smushed it together, or to make sure it was all melted in the bag. Then I just twisted up the bag and cut a little end off of it, and I was able to draw the lines on it. And they're not perfect, but it's a lot easier to do it this way than it would be to do it with a toothpick. And I did want to leave this clip in there at regular speed, just kind of showing how you do it. And nothing is perfect, and it doesn't have to be perfect. This is just for us. This is just for the family and just goofing around. And it's just something we'll eat. If I was selling them, yes, I'd try to make them look a lot better than this, but I am not selling. And I'm not going to claim to be Pinterest perfect recipes, because it's not. This is just stuff that I can do at home and still make game day a little bit more special than just sitting there and watching the game. But this is what the desserts look like. I just plated them up on the same plate just to make it look a little bit nicer, and that way we didn't have as much laying around. Because when we do Super Bowl, usually what we do is take everything and lay it out on the coffee table, and we kind of eat like that, so we don't have to move around and get up during the game. The next recipe I'm doing is pizza crescent roll-ups. I'm doing these a little bit different. I've done pizza crescent rolls before, but I saw this recipe where you roll them up and they look like pinwheels. And I tried them for New Year's Eve, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to do this for Super Bowl. Because it was so much easier than doing them the way I usually do, which I never thought it would be, but it is. And I feel like you get more out of it when you do it this way. But you just I split my crescent roll dough into fours. Then I put in a cheese stick and put in some pepperoni and cut it into little slices like this, hence the pinwheel vibe. And then I just baked it at 375 for 14 minutes in my oven, because it still needs the full 13 to 15 minutes to cook the crescent roll dough all the way through, even though it is smaller. But these are so good, and you can serve them with pizza sauce. I don't think we need it, and nobody else in my family thinks we need it either. Okay, so the next recipe is, I'd seen a recipe for cheesesteak potato skins. And I was going to make potato skins, and I was thinking, no, that's a pain in the butt, so what else can I make? Then I saw a recipe from, I don't remember who it was. And they make potato rounds, but they make them like potato skins, where they par-bake a potato and they cut it in to slices like this. A couple of mine did fall apart because they were a little bit over par-baked, but hey, it all worked out in the end. And you just lay them out on a baking sheet after you bake them like that in the microwave. Like, you just do it like a normal baked potato that you would in the microwave. And then you cut them into slices like this, lay them out on a baking sheet, and take shaved steak, some peppers and onions, and cook it like that. And we had some left in the refrigerator from where my brother had done cheesesteaks the night before. But it's just shaved steak, bell peppers, and onions, and some cheese, because we mix our cheese in. Trust me, I still topped with more cheese. After I got my Philly cheesesteak, or my cheesesteak stuff on top of the potato, I topped it with more cheese, and I put it in the oven at 400 for 10 minutes, just until everything was heated through, the potato was roasted a little bit more, and the cheese had melted. And these were so good. These, I could eat these even without it being a party. They're that good. Okay, so now to get back into the chicken quesadilla stuff. At this point, I did these last because I wanted them to be fresh. But I took my meat masher, shredded up the chicken, kind of stirred everything together. And to get mini ones, you need the street taco size shells. And yes, we have a 5-pound bag of cheese. Trust me, there's nothing wrong with that. But I melted some butter in a skillet, and I'm gonna top part of this. I did a couple of. Either way, they're mini quesadillas, but I did a few. Just like the whole shell, covered it in cheese, put the chicken stuff on it, put a little bit more cheese, put another shell, and then cooked it that way. And then I did some like this, where I folded over, which I did like half the shell had cheese, chicken, and a little bit more cheese, and then I folded over the other half. I made it like a half of a quesadilla. And you'll see kind of more or less what I'm talking about when I show them at the end. But these are so good. Give or take, I'm going to eat chicken quesadillas no matter what day it is and no matter what kind of shell or how big you cook it. But these were so good. It may have just been because I'd been smelling the chicken all day and I couldn't wait This is what I mean by a mini quesadilla, like how I talked about doing like a half of a quesadilla. This is what I'm talking about. Okay, so that's going to be it for Super Bowl recipes. I hope you found at least one that you want to make. All of them are delicious, all of them are relatively easy, and they are crowd pleasers in my house, so hopefully they'll be crowd pleasers in yours as well. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit the red subscribe button down below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you for my next video. Bye bye.